Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. I have not been consistent with the NXT, the SmackDown, the Raw reactions. That's my fault. I took a little bit of a break. But we're back now. Raw happened last night, and I've only watched the first segment. And I still need to do a reaction and a review to NXT and SmackDown. So we're going to do that quickly, and we're going to get them uploaded tonight, as well as the Raw ones. So potentially 3 videos tonight. Anyway, let's talk about NXT. Let's talk about the NXT North American Champion, Ricky Saints. Came out, obviously, first NXT after Stand and Deliver. He was just on a mic doing a promo. Then the Heritage Cup Champion, Lexis King, came out and declared he wants a shot at it. And Ricky Saints says he'll defend that NXT North American Championship against Lexis King next week if he gets a shot at the Heritage Cup Championship in the same match, title for title. And Lexis King agreed. The only issue was, when Lexis King got his Heritage Cup Championship back off those magicians, he had to promise he would defend it that night. So he did defend it that night, and the opponent that came out was a returning Noam Dar from the UK, shout out UK, but he's from Scotland, so it's a bit different. And Noam Dar actually took the Heritage Cup Championship, so it looks like we're not getting no double champ. But that's fine. You know, that was a... I'm glad they took it off him, you know. Noam Dar seems like a right man for that cup, and apparently, from my understanding, he's been a multi-time champ before. Lexis King was getting a bit boring, and it looks like they want Lexis King in that North American Championship division. Maybe Ethan Page hit an attack, I can't remember, it was a week ago, so... But I don't think Ricky Saints and Ethan Page are done. Then, there's the NXT North American Champion winner, So Ruka. Obviously, her friend Zarya was in a match, and Zarya, over the episode, has shown quite a few times where she's been visibly disappointed that she's not had the championship. She's kind of looked in a mood. It just kept her eyes on it. So it's definitely probably a heel turn coming along later, where we're going to get a feud for that belt. But they had a run-in with the women's tag team champions, Liv and Raquel, who lost it at WrestleMania, won it back on Raw, and then defended it the next night on NXT. You know, 3 nights in a row fighting for the titles. Crazy. There was a bit of a run in there, so that's a match that maybe could happen one day down the line. You know, Dominic did win the North American Championship. Maybe Liv could win the Women's North American Championship. But regardless, Liv and Raquel defended the NXT Women's Championship, not the NXT Women's Championship, just the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, and were successful against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, obviously, because they weren't going to lose them to Becky and Lyra on Sunday, win them back on Monday, then lose them again on Tuesday. That would have made 0 sense. So, that was an easy retention. Then, in regards to the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Hank and Tank, I don't think they were in a match that night, but Yoshiki Inamura managed to manipulate Ava into giving him and Josh Briggs a shot at the title by saying it was his last. You know, he's leaving NXT soon. He's going back to Japan. He's really sad that he can never get Josh Briggs an opportunity at the titles. So Ava gave him an opportunity at the titles, and Josh Briggs came in like, yo, what the hell was that? And Yoshiki said that was an old Japanese trick. So he swindled his way into tag team opportunity. Will they win the belts? Will they win the belts? Probably not. Then we had NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer take on Roxanne Perez after Roxanne ruined Io and Stephanie's match on Raw. So that was a bit of a get back from Stephanie. And she beat Roxanne, obviously. Beating all these top stars and facing all these top stars on casual episodes of Raw and NXT, as you do. Not even saving it for pay-per-view. It's crazy, but that's the type of star Stephanie Vaquer is. And then, in terms of the NXT Championship, I mean, Obafemi came out. Was it Trick Williams? It was Trick Williams. Trick Williams came out. You know, Javon Evans kind of moved on a bit for now, which is not what I thought would happen. I thought Trick would kind of go to the main roster and Javon would stay chasing Obafemi and would stay chasing the NXT Championship. It turns out Javon actually ended up in a tag team match against Fatal Influence when he teamed up with one of the men from New Quarter Catch Crew, where the other members of New Quarter Catch Crew weren't there because they competed in something in Vegas. So that was very weird. And Trick Williams came out to Obafemi, and I thought, okay, we're getting an Oba Trick one-on-one feud and not Oba Javon one-on-one feud, but it is what it is. And then Joe Hendry came out, the TNA champ, man who faced Randy Orton at WrestleMania. came out and he declared he wanted some Trick and he wanted some the NXT Championship, and it looks like Joe Hendry's now in this feud, and it seems that they're building a feud that Trick Williams cannot get a one-on-one shot for the title, and everyone seems to keep butting in. But I don't mind it because Joe Hendry is Joe Hendry, you know what I mean? But I still think by the time this draft comes around, Trick Williams is going to the main roster, and it's going to be Javon chasing that NXT Championship. So that's my thoughts. Not much of a breakdown, but that's all I kind of really gave her. It wasn't much, but it was an entertaining episode, I won't lie. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.